Hello everyone, how are you today? Today's lesson will be about author's purpose. Before we start, we need to understand who is the author. Author is a person who writes a story. Once again, author is a person who writes a story. If you remember, when we open our reading textbook and when we read our stories, when you see the first page with a title, usually the name of the author comes after and under the title. Maybe you know that. Okay, so one more time, who is the author? Author is a person who writes a story. So what is the author's purpose? Purpose means the reason why something happens. So, author's purpose is the reason why the author writes the story. Again, author's purpose is the reason why the author writes the story. Here you have a picture. Look at this. Author's purpose. It's as easy as a pie. These are the three main reasons why the authors write the story. They want to persuade you, inform you, or entertain you. Easy way to remember, all of these words begin with letter P-I-E, which form the word pie. So, one more time, author is a person who writes a story. An author's purpose is the reason why the authors write the story. There are three main reasons. The authors want to persuade us, or sometimes the author want to inform us, or sometimes the authors want to entertain us. And I will explain each one of them, okay? So these are three main reasons why the authors write the story. There are more than these reasons, but we will take only these three in grade 2. So, when author is trying to persuade the reader, he is trying to convince the reader. Convince the reader means to make the reader agree about something. He is trying to make the reader believe something, that something is good to do or something is not good to do. The clue words in persuasive writing are these clue words and many others, but the most important, like should or could or best. For example, when the author writes a story like this, everyone should have a pet. Having a pet could teach you a responsibility. You will learn how to take care of an animal and how to be independent. Example, having a pet is the best thing to do. So the author is writing to convince you. He is saying that you should have a pet. You should have a pet because you could learn how to become responsible. So the author is trying to convince you, to make you agree with him. Or sometimes author can write to convince you to stop doing something wrong, like people should not eat junk food. They should not buy food from McDonald's and KFC. They should eat more homemade meals. It is healthier for their body. This is giving you, it's persuading you, stop eating junk food. The author persuades you. Persuade means to convince the reader to do something or not to do something. To inform. When the author is writing to inform you, he is giving you lots of information and lots of facts in the story. Information, something that is teaching you something new. information from science, information from social studies, informations about plants, animals, for example, about planets, about different kinds of rocks. And the author is giving you lots of facts. Remember what are facts? Facts are statements that are always true, and we can prove them that they are true. You can prove them from the internet or from the books. So, if you remember the story we read, the story Life Cycle of a Pumpkin, that kind of story is to inform because we had lots of information about pumpkins and about the way they grow and what are seeds, what they look like, what people do with seeds. This kind of story gave us lots of information and lots of facts. So that kind of story is written to inform you. And the last reason to why the authors write the story is to entertain you. To entertain you means to write a nice story which is funny or scary or sometimes even sad or happy. It's a story that has a setting, a place where story happens, and characters, people or animals acting in the story. So when the author writes to entertain you, he is writing nice, funny story with people or animals acting in the story, doing something, and the story has a setting, a place. For example, if you remember the story Anansi Goes Fishing, the story about the turtle and the spider, how the turtle taught Anansi a lesson, and that kind of story is entertaining. It was funny, right? How Spider believed that Turtle is getting tired when she didn't do anything, just slept on the riverbank. So that kind of story is entertaining. It is funny and it has a setting and characters. And we enjoy reading it. This is the most important thing. Story that entertain us, it's a story that we enjoy reading. So let's go and review one more time and then we will practice. Author is a person who writes a story. An author's purpose is the reason why the author writes the story. There are three most important reasons why: to persuade us, to inform us, and to entertain us. When the author is trying to persuade you, he is trying to convince you to agree with him, to make you believe that something is important to be done or not. To inform means the author gives you informations in the story and he's giving you lots of facts about the topics. Mostly the stories from science about plants, animals, or about people who lived a long time ago are stories that inform you. And last one, to entertain. It means the story is written to make you laugh. Story is funny. Story could be scary or sad, but the story is a story that you will enjoy reading. It must have characters and setting. We will continue with practice in the second part of the PowerPoint.